All right, here we go. So, welcome. If this video found you, it's pretty incredible because, yeah, I literally just started doing this. So if it found you, it's definitely for a reason, man. Just like with anything in life, everything happens for a reason, right? I don't believe in coincidence, at least not anymore. I've seen way too much to believe in coincidence, man. But that's not really what this video is about. So in this video, I kind of want to share my thoughts on work and the way that we view work as a society, the way I think most people live their lives revolving around work. And by work, I mean your 9-to-5 day job, right? Whatever you do for a living. So yeah. So I guess we'll start off with kind of the way I think most people view work, I guess. I think, you know, as you go through school, as you're conditioned into this society, right? From a young age, what you see around you, what you're taught is that life is about work. Life is about going to work. Life is about climbing that corporate ladder. Life is about making money. Life is about spending that money. You gotta have that money. Life's about just gathering as much material things as you possibly can, getting that better car, getting that bigger house, getting that better job, getting that promotion. All of this will make you feel better. At least this is the way I think about it, right? This is what I see in society, right? You might, hopefully, you know, if you found this video, probably will think the same way. And if you don't, I'm hoping the whole reason I'm doing this is to maybe help wake some people up, man. Help, you know, get you there, you know? And so, in my opinion, the way that we view this is completely insane. It's completely wrong. Don't get me wrong, okay? You have to work, right? The society in which we find ourselves demands that you gather resources, right? Like work is basically the new age way of gathering resources, right? What I mean by that is, say you lived 1,000 years ago, right? There was no such thing as money, right? Hopefully, I don't know, you could probably look that up, but like I'm talking like before money, right? Before the monetary system that we currently rely on, right? You had to hunt, you had to gather, you had to go gather your berries, go farm your vegetables, go hunt your deer, go hunt your elk, gather your protein, gather your vegetables, gather your nutrients, gather your water. You had to chop your trees, you had to build your homes, right? This was your work, right? So like this was work back then, right? Gathering what you needed to survive, your basics. Feed your family, clothe yourself, shelter yourself, right? In today's day and age, right, resources is money. That's what we use for money, right? Like that's what we use money for, is to get food, is to get shelter, is to get water. And so I think there's been this like huge disconnect into what it like work is actually for, right? So like we've been conditioned to think work is what you're here for. Like work is why you're here, why you're in this life. It's your most important thing in this life is to work. And then outside of work, whatever, you know, free time you're allowed outside of work, that's when you can, you know, do whatever, play your video game, go on your hike, you know, do whatever, right? But the most important thing is work, right? And so I'm here to like challenge that idea because I believe I believe it's supposed to be, right, the exact opposite. I believe you have to work. And like I said, in this society, working is the easiest way to gather your resources, right? And so this is what I'm teaching my children, to hopefully they can gain a better understanding, right? Is that you have to work, right? In this society, unless you hit the lottery, unless somehow or another you could just gather so much money that you don't need to work anymore, freaking great, right? But there's countless amounts of people that have more money than they know what to do with, yet they are still wasting their lives away gathering more money that they're never going to be able to spend for who knows what reason. I don't know even what to say about that, because it's just freaking crazy to me. I think it's because they don't understand what we're about to talk about. But like, you got to have money, you got to have your resources, right? Food, water, shelter, right? Cover your basics. The rest, man, the whole reason I believe we're here in this beautiful place, this amazing planet, this amazing life experience, is to have experience, right? It's to live. It is to experience what this place has to offer. And I think after your basic needs are met through gathering enough resources, right? Whether you want to live in the woods, chop your own trees, hunt your own food, gather your own food, right? Or go to work and get money enough to where you can supply, what you need for yourself and your family. I believe that we are really, truly meant to just experience this beautiful life, man. And I feel like people have just forgotten that. I feel like people have just been conditioned, or it's just the norm to just like grind culture. You're just supposed to work. You're supposed to always be grinding. You're supposed to always be doing something, right? And it's like, what happened to living, man? What happened to like watching the day go by, watching the birds, watching the sun rise and fall, watching the stars, just experiencing this beautiful place as it was meant to be experienced, without all the confusion of the day-to-day hustle that this society demands of you, And so basically what I want to try to get across, right, what I want to try to get people to understand is that, yes, unfortunately, guys, we do have to work. We do have to work. You know what I mean? You have to gather money. That's just how it is. You know what I mean? If you live in this society, one way or another, you got to gather resources. And the easiest way to do that is to get a job and to get money, right? But do not let that distract you from the deeper purpose of why you're here, why you even need the money in the first place, right? You need it so that you can experience the other beautiful side of this experience, this beautiful life experience. Don't let the chase, don't let the next iPhone, the next car, the next promotion make you happy. Understand that, like, yes, you need money, right? And the more the better, right? The more money you have, the better food you can put in your body to take care of yourself, the better, just the better overall. More money's better, right? Just like having more resources would be better. Having more meat, to feed your family would be better. To have more fresh vegetables to feed your family. Having a bigger home, the better wood, right? Okay, if you lived 1,000 years ago, whatever. You see where I'm going with this. So don't get me wrong. Money is very important, okay? Money is important, but you cannot let it sidetrack you or cloud your judgment on what is actually important in life, man. And those experiences with your family, with yourself, with others, with what you find love in, whatever your hobby is, you know what I mean? Just don't let it distract you from that, because you have to remember that, in my opinion, that's the reason you're here. You know what I mean? You're here to do the things you love to do. Working and getting that money allows you that, right? And so take your time, take your benefit time. If you're fortunate enough to work at a company that allows benefit time, don't ever let anybody make you feel guilty for taking your time. You are working at that company for pay and for benefits, right? In return for a job. So as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, don't ever let anyone make you feel guilty or tell you you cannot use your time, because that is your time. And that is what you are here to do, is to live your life, right? It's just, we find ourselves in this society right now, and this is just what we have to do, is work. And so I just want people to wake up to this. I don't know. I just can't help but wonder how many people waste their lives away working for people that would replace you tomorrow, literally. No matter what you think, I promise that company will replace you tomorrow. And so I'm telling you, please use your time. Spend that time with yourself. Spend that time with your loved ones. Slow your life down. Understand life is not all about work. It does not have to be all about work. You have got to live for yourself, because if you don't, it will pass you by. Your life will pass you by, and you will have dedicated your life to a company that just wants a job out of you. Now, if you're fortunate enough to do something you love to make money, then that's freaking awesome, dude. If you're, say, an artist and you are truly love making art and that's how you're making your money, that's great. You found it. You've hit the algorithm of life, man. Keep it up. But if you find yourself in a position where you cannot do what you love to make your money, remember that. Remember what we talked about. Use your time. Make sure that you prioritize your life, your personal life, and your family and yourself over this job, right? Understand that this job is very important. Understand work is important. Don't take this away. Don't go out and quit your job tomorrow. Work is important, right? I'll be going to work in the morning, right? Your job is important, right? Your work is important. But you have to make that separation. You have to understand what is the most important thing in this life. And so hopefully that helps you, man. Hopefully you needed to hear that. Hopefully you'll take that PTO day. Hopefully you'll take that vacation. Take that time for yourself. Reinvest in yourself. You need to be investing more into yourself than you're investing into this company, into this job, right? Invest what you need to get what you need, right? Don't get what you need. Go get yourself. You know what I mean? Get your resources. But you cannot do that at the expense of yourself, because that is what's most important at the end of the day. And so, much love, man. Hopefully you needed to hear this. See you next time.